The fact checker himself, the non-speculative Doran, says it's official. Azeroth is getting a massive revamp in 2024. WoW 2.0. I love watching these because I really want a WoW 2.0. But let's see what he means in terms of world revamp and what we could be seeing in 2024.
This is finally it after all these speculations, not even clickbait. Blizzard just came out with a brand new 10.2 interview, and they said that a world revamp of Azeroth is very likely happening in the future,
Ian
and they're
say
figuring out how to make it right. All this is in regards to WoW's 20th anniversary, which is next year, and they said they don't want to delete all zones like they did in Cataclysm. However, with 10.2 we have also data mined a ton of new assets that are continuing the soft revamp we've seen. We got brand new ship models, Night Elven assets, probably related to the new Night Elven city.
Night Elf assets. Keep paying attention, guys.
We got new Blood Elven assets, probably related
to Night Elf and Blood Elf assets. Wow, didn't Sam talk about some type of Elven/Void expansion? What is going on? Oh, that's weird. Why would there be so many Blood Elf and Night Elf assets if they're not going to be hyper relevant in the next expansion? Pay attention to me, guys. Follow me. Just hold my hand. I'm going to take you to the next expansion, okay?
The new Blood Elven customization, we got a ton of new event assets, Dark Fair, Midsummer, and this is only a small portion of the new stuff we have just discovered. So, what is all this new 10.2 info? How is Blizzard going to pull off the revamp of Azeroth? And
I did not watch the video first.
So far in the 10.2 BTR. 10.1.7 was just released, and there is no better way to prepare yourself than U.GG, the most straightforward way to optimize your WoW experience. With U.GG, you can discover a tier list to see what classes perform best as DPS, healers, tanks, and this isn't only for raiding, but for Mythic Plus and for PvP, and best of all, this is all based on the precise data from the very
I promise you guys, I never pre-watch these videos. It's gotta be genuine.
Even more importantly, you can find the best builds for your class. For example, as I play a Fury Warrior and have done so for over a decade, I can find the best performing build for the new patch, the most optimal gear, enchants, gems, trinkets, and best of all, it is super straightforward and a very easy to get used to UI. So make sure to click my link in the description, check out U.GG, and optimize your performance for 10.1.7 completely free.
Nice.
Finally, after all this time, as I made so many videos on this topic, we are moving into confirmation theory. This isn't exactly 100% confirmed to come for the next patch, but let's just say we're one step before that,
bet it's not
we could be looking at the biggest revamp in all of WoW history, or at least as close as Cataclysm back in the day. Keep in mind, I'm not just
I've been saying this before. I think 10.2 is the final major patch of Dragonflight. I don't think we're going to get another raid patch. We will get a 10.5 or 10.2.5 and 10.2.7. We're going to get those to finish out the story and everything. But I don't see another full-on raid patch. We might get faded raiding and the 0.7 one, but not a full raid patch. I think Galakron is continuing on to the next expansion. We're getting Void. We're getting Elves. We're getting Void Elves. We're getting all that shit. That all is going to happen. But not in this expansion.
We got 2 new assets,
so I think this world revamp won't happen in this expansion.
We literally got an interview from a lead Blizzard guy that said that they are looking into a revamp and seeing how it could all play out and how they could do something similar to the Cataclysm update without deleting the old zones by seeking modern solutions.
Yeah, it needs the revamp because all of the player models have been completely revamped and updated, and now we look more high-res than the environments of the old world now, so it's kind of janked. So they definitely need to revamp it.
This even a lot more interesting. As 10.2 PTR is out, we have discovered a ton of new assets, brand new, which is signifying a revamp as well. And I'm talking about a ton that completely continue on the previous theory. If you haven't watched the previous videos, it became really apparent even back in Shadowlands, but specifically in Dragonflight.
Yeah, a bunch of assets have been getting added in.
Doing this sort of soft revamp, this gradual revamp.
Here it is. I could not find these anywhere anymore, but this is what I was talking about. These assets were put into the game but have not been used in any way yet. And this is why I think we might get a Silver Moon revamp. I said, you know, we're obviously getting a new city for the Night Elves, right? They're getting a whole new world tree at Mirdrasil. And I think we're going to get a whole new city for the Blood Elves. Not a new city in terms of moving it, but Silver Moon is going to get revamped because Silver Moon never got any... You can't even fly in Silver Moon still. So that shit's going to happen. Combine those two, we get some type of Elven Void expansion. I'm telling you guys. Elven Void into the Elves. Into the Void. I don't know, something, whatever they're gonna call it. Silver Moon Goat Garrison. Yeah, yeah. That's what these all are. Garrison assets. You're right.
Vamp of Swords. If you have been following the data mining and the PTR stuff of every single minor and major patch of this expansion, you might have noticed that they started making all these minor changes all the time, and most of the times these changes
Yeah,
had
the guards for Ironforge to get
nothing
up-res.
to do with what was currently relevant in the game, what was going on with the main storyline. So for example, they updated the Ironforge city guards, updated the siege engines outside of Ironforge, even though Ironforge is not relevant whatsoever. They added all these leaning, cooking, sitting animations that are
New
not
postures.
related to anything major in Dragonflight. They updated the player skeletons. On top of that, they have made
Oh, I didn't know they did
all
that.
these assets from modular human and orc buildings to Blood Elven and Night Elven stuff all
Yeah,
the
the
time.
ships
Some are in
too. They got a
Dragonflight,
bunch of new
some
ship
still
stuff.
aren't. There are new ship models, there are new little items you could find lying on the table. This archive has been building up all the time, and it is constantly expanding every single update, like a backlog of assets that sometimes they actually add into the game, but usually they're actually in the background. So for us that have been following these details, it became quite obvious that Blizzard is just slowly updating things, revamping and slowly updating the old world. For example, every expansion that
There's a lot of things that have been uploaded into the game that haven't been used yet. There's a ton of new assets that are just waiting to be put in.
various NPC models, beasts in various forms. We got Warlock mask customization, we got new Furbolg, Centaur models, we got new
all the
wolves,
new druid
bears, and all
forms.
sorts of animals that are also being updated in the old world as well, not just the current zones, and what is currently relevant in the new expansion. Furthermore, every
so now you have all these new characters and new NPCs, new animals and everything running around up-resed in a non-up-resed world. So it is starting to look a bit off.
single patch, we're getting new player customizations from eye colors to scars to hairstyles, making everything a lot more up to date and up to 2024 standards. 10.1.7 was absolutely no different. You might have followed the recent Blizzard video where they decided to update all the fog settings in the old zones they showed us, like the behind the scenes, which was all related to dragon riding. Keep in mind, in the new 10.2 PTR news, they just announced that we'll be going to pretty much all the zones from Alten to the Broken Isles with dragon riding next year, which means that they will implement these changes
Dragon riding
to
everywhere.
these zones as well. We should get the updated fogs. If you noticed with the video, they essentially removed the fog in the distance, made the zone look a lot more visually updated.
Yeah, it looks so much better
and this
now.
has all pretty much been happening now in this new patch. However, with 10.2, these changes are doubling down, and I'm 100% certain we're in for a revamp in the very near future. So you might have noticed that, for example, they
The holiday
really
stuff all
started
got
updating
revamped,
the
that's
regular
true.
events. We got the new Wintervale assets, we got the updates for the Headless Horseman, and now in 10.2 we have just determined brand new Dark Moonfair tents,
Oh, I didn't
which
know this.
look amazing.
Nice.
We have also determined a ton of new Midsummer Festival assets from flags and tents, and not just Midsummer, we have found new assets for Brewfest and Hallow's End as well in the 10.2 PTR. However, this is literally only the beginning of the new stuff. We're getting new Blood Elven customization in 10.2, and probably related to that, we have discovered a bunch of brand new Blood Elven assets from shoulders to various armor sets, which I gotta say, when combined with the ships and the various little things we had previously discovered, it could be signifying a potential Silver Moon revamp, which is literally the update everyone is looking for, as that entire city is in such a sad state, like stuck in like 2007. Now, other than this, in the new patch, we got new ship models, which are also
all the new
amazing,
ship
from
models.
The
When
Lion ones.
we were seeing this stuff, this is why we were all thinking it's going to be some kind of ship pirate expansion. Now I still think we're going to get some seafaring shit, but there was tons of new boat models added
to
in the game.
regular ships that now really look up to date. And similar to Ironforge stuff, we got a brand new steam engine model, we got a new plague thrower, and a new orc demolisher, which is also looking super interesting.
Maybe a new
Other than this,
PvP
we're getting
battleground?
new Moonkin customizations, which is also looking excellent, and all of this is related to the general revamp, from the druid forms to new pet models that have been happening all the time. Most interestingly, we have discovered a ton of brand new Night Elven assets, which I think may just be the biggest hint yet. We have discovered a new Night Elven themed backpack,
Night
as
elves,
well as a tent,
major
amongst
part
other
of the next
features.
expansion that have
this is
been
all
hinted
related
at.
to the Emerald Dream, the new 10.2 zone, but keep in mind the actual context to what is happening in this new patch. We know the Emerald Dream is where Amirdrasil is, the new world tree that we had just planted, and they just told us in the official interview that what is going on, the tree is supposed to pass from the dream into Azeroth to become a new Night Elven home. The entire story of 10.2 is us.
By the way, I used to love Darnassus. Like, it was the first city I ever experienced in the game, because the first character I ever made was a night elf hunter, because I wanted to be Legolas. And I thought Darnassus was amazing. So I really hope that, like, this is supposed to be a modern... This is the first race city we've gotten in a long time. Like, if you think about it, they added Worgens to the game, Goblins to the game, but both of their home cities were, like, essentially destroyed. We never got to see them. So this is, like, the first racial city we've gotten since what? The Night Elves and the Draenei, right? The Exodar and Silvermoon. This is the first one we've seen. So I want to see, like, we saw what Blizzard could do with Suramar. Suramar was freaking amazing. I hope there's, like, that level of detail in this new Night Elf city.
Stopping Farak from interrupting that process. As well as certain we will succeed in this, it probably means that the tree will eventually pass, probably into the Nearan Plains, and we're going to get brand new Night Elven city that will finally give them some closure, and some of these assets are probably meant for that, which means we could be in for a big new major city. However, these are hints, little hints, but let's get into the biggest hint in probably all of WoW history, and that is a brand new official interview where they all but confirmed that a revamp is happening. Before we get into
it has to happen. I mean, if the game's gonna stay alive.
About going back to old Azeroth, not wanting pirates, and the CEO of Blizzard debunked the pirate theory.
Yeah, this was the no pirates. He literally tweeted it out. He was like, yeah, Sam, you know how you've been just dropping videos on your YouTube channel about pirates? Well, guess what, bitch? Mike Ybarra, no pirates. So I had to re-theme my entire expansion theory. Hence why I went with the new Elf Void expansion.
He also, interesting enough, debunked the pirate theory in the new interview to just double down that pirates won't be happening. However, the CEO of Blizzard decided to reply to this tweet out of all the 11.0 leaked tweets, and just him talking about it, us going back to old Azeroth, Kandor, and Eastern Kingdoms, could really be a setup for what could be revealed in the future. I honestly think they have something planned behind the scenes. So, we got a GameSpot interview with the lead Blizzard guy where he was asked about an old world revamp, as it is obviously a popular thing in the community requests, and he essentially said that this is something that is likely to happen in the future. Keep in mind, this was said in the context of
Let's not forget, I mean, one reason why they never did a world revamp was because they always said, like, it would take so much out of their dev team to be able to do something like that. Like, so much dev power would be required. But guess what? Blizzard's dev power is essentially about to quadruple. Because there's this small indie dev company called Microsoft that's buying them out. And I believe they happen to have an army of devs that will be ready to do something like this. And the thing is, you don't have to, like, have, you know, people who've been working on WoW their entire life or completely understand WoW to revamp the world. I mean, you could literally just assign devs to remaking trees and remaking the ground and remaking grass. You don't have to know anything about WoW to do that. You could just literally assign devs from within Microsoft to do stuff like that, and they'd be able to do it. Elon Musk said he's going to buy Activision. Yeah, well, they're splitting it out? I don't think so.
For 20th Blizzard anniversary, where it would
Elon Musk
just
is
be a
gonna buy the
perfect
world.
time to implement such a major change. He said this: we're definitely open to it at some point, but if we take a step back and think about WoW as an ongoing living world, we drove ourselves into a corner by having all these iconic locations, but we can't really use them because they have already been used. Now, if you're a little bit confused, they talked about this in regards to doing a new Cataclysm-style major revamp and how they learned a lesson from that. The main problem was that the Cataclysm had reshaped the world and they had to delete
it didn't
parts
just
of the original
revamp.
world
It didn't just revamp the world. They reshaped it. They deleted parts of the game.
Warcraft that a lot of people didn't really like. So, for example, you could never really experience the original balance in detail. You would only know the Cataclysm altered version.
Right.
The idea that they're talking about, they want to use modern solutions to preserve the existing pieces of the game if this revamp is to happen. Honestly, to me, this means that we could be in for some type of a freezing scenario, or potentially something to do with the Bronze Dragon fight and time travel, where if you want to play the old world, you would be in some sort of a time travel simulation where you could still experience everything,
Classic,
but
geez.
the new zones would be like the up-to-date lore, like what is actually going on Azeroth. I gotta say, all of this, how it would happen, would have to be expansion-based. There would be no point in updating Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms, just switching up all the assets, going through an insane amount of work if we really have no reasons to go to these zones other than the leveling we've already played through. This means that the next expansion would have to be based around exploring the old world and doing something relevant to this. Honestly, this is definitely possible. It could be done through various quest lines, even if the expansion isn't fully based in all the zones.
I mean, if hardcore WoW has proved anything to the Blizzard team, is that people love leveling in the old world. It's so much fun. People just love it. It's got good vibes. So I think, I mean, if hardcore WoW is taught of anything, it's that, hey, we can create an entire expansion where people just level through the old world and they're going to love it.
For example, with the new Night Elven Heritage, we went to Felwood, so they really missed the opportunity there to change some things up, but realistically, we could have something like this happen. Additionally, we might not need a huge revamp of everything just out at once. We could get a revamp of a zone every single game patch, like some of these features they have been adding in Dragonflight. So, for example, how they're adding the Blood Elven customization in 10.2, we could get updated Silver Moon, or for example, how we got the new Forsaken storyline, we could have gotten an updated Undercity related to that questline. All in all, though, speculation aside, new assets are here, they're in the game, they are constantly being revealed. The new interview is here, they're talking in regards to the next year, how an old world revamp is something that is likely to happen with lessons learned from the Cataclysm. So let's just say big things may be coming to WoW, and we are in for potentially some of the most exciting announcements we've had in over a decade in regards to this game. Thank you for watching. Check out a possible Nerubian playable race by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on Slavic pirates in real world history by clicking on the screen. See you next time.
Great, great, exciting stuff. And the good thing is, like I said, one thing Blizzard always said about dev power and everything is they're like, we could revamp the old world, but it's going to take away from current content. I think they're about to get a ton of new dev power that'll completely change that. And if WoW is going to continue into the future, this has to happen. That's inevitable.